It's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to be back. It is January the 9th, and part of the country is on fire, and the other part is battening down the hatches for a kind of unusual southern winter storm. So we are just all of the crazy today. So our first story, I'm sure that if you have been on X or anywhere, you have seen the fires out in Hollywood. But before we get into that, let's say hi to everyone. Good morning, Christine. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you, Wolfram, for always doing your Modly Mod duty. Good morning, Tammy Bogard and Alice G. And Ronnie, Penny, Carol Sue, Slinky, Audio Coffee. Good morning. So this is not a good story to start out with, but for anyone in the California area, in this particular area, please listen. The words that are going to come out of my mouth are going to sound insanely hypocritical after I go on a rant against the government of California. But if your first responders are telling you to leave, please leave. You're irreplaceable. I know that's easy for me to say, surrounded by all of my Sailor Moon stuff in a safe home. But I would get my kids out and leave everything else to burn. So please listen to, your safety people. Palisade Fire live updates. California deploys National Guard after devastating wildfires kill 5 and leave approximately 340,000 without power, burning across 28,000 acres. And this is just wild. I mean, it looks like Escape from LA. This is maddening. Tens of thousands of people have been forced to evacuate their homes in Southern California as a wildfire rages Wednesday across Pacific Palisades and the surrounding areas. Wind gusts topping 100 miles per hour have caused several fires to grow from non-existent to out of control within a matter of minutes. At least 5 people are dead and thousands of structures have been destroyed. So they can I am bad at geography, but these are where all of the fires are right now. They also ran out of water. I mean, the mismanagement on this has just been astronomical. I was watching yesterday trying to do my self-enforced rest, and my rageometer was going off the chain. And I had to force myself not to get up and do a stream because I had, confined myself to this rest. But this is insanely maddening that we knew what conditions would cause this and we didn't do anything. And by we, I mean, the government. California deploys the National Guard after devastating wildfire. So we know that California National Guard service members were sent to assist in combating fires with CAL FIRE, along with 10 rotary wing aircrafts and 2 C-130s to stage wildland firefighting operations. Now, this particular fire, the Palisades Fire, has consumed 17,234 acres since it began burning 36 hours ago. It was first reported in the wooded mountain areas west of Los Angeles on Tuesday. Now, there is another fire, the Eaton Fire, west of LA in Pasadena and Altadena, has taken over 10,600 acres. The fire has destroyed 972 structures, and containment remains at 0. Now, firefighters have seen some luck in the Hearst fire in the Simar neighborhood north of San Bernardino, as officials announced that there have been a 10% containment on that particular 853, acre fire. The Sunset Fire, the newest fire that sparked evacuation orders in Los Angeles County, has burned 43 acres. This is just insanity. I will probably be covering this today, unless you guys want to see the Dahlberg hearing from the Karen Reed case. Baker has kindly invited me to watch, Karen Reed Part 2 with him. Oh, hey, Joe. Well, I hope your daughter is, staying safe. Again, it is so very easy for me to say, stuff doesn't matter. Get out. You're important when I'm in my safe home, but please. And Fedorowski, I saw on Nerdrotic's Nooner that he was going to be evacuated. This is just crazy. And we are not getting a lot of answers. Now, to add a little bit of levity into this arrogant douchebag wanted to look like a hot firefighter. He's like, I'll take a kid's extra large. Now, you can see this hunky guy or what have you, but he is wearing a paper clip or a clothesline clip to make sure he looks svelte. It's like, us ladies, when we tuck and suck, that's what he's doing. ABC's narcissistic David Murr roasted for sprucing up a svelte look while reporting on deadly LA fires. A TV reporter vain? This is not news, I don't think, but it is funny. ABC News anchor David Murr is being mocked on social media as quote-unquote pathetic and narcissistic for using clothes clips to cinch his fire retardant jacket while broadcasting at the scene of the deadly Los Angeles wildfires. The eponymous host of News with, David Murr was surveying the damage in LA for ABC News, doing a stand-up hit from the street in the Palisades when his fashion faux pas was exposed. As you can see behind me, and then he's just got, here, because this is what this man was doing. And ladies, we've all done this. All right. Not sucking in. Got a gut. And you can see my general trash. And then sucking in. And then you pull your shirt out a little bit because that helps. Apparently it will give you an ab if you pull your shirt out from your chub. This man is ridiculous. No one cares what you look like. They're here for the fire. So as he was going to show the rubble, he showed his clothespins. As he looks behind him, you can see the wooden clothespin to make him look, hunky. As he looks behind him, a wooden clamp is very clearly seen on the back of his jacket. It looks like a traditional clothespin. It tightens the ill-fitting ABC News' branded jacket to show off his torso. Someone's been doing P90X. Nice jacket, bro. Glad you look nice and svelte with those clothesline pegs while our city burns to the ground, Jack Osborne wrote on a caption to the video. Others have added their 2 cents, calling Murr pathetic and narcissistic, along with another litany of many random insults. Using clothespins to cinch clothes is a standard television styling maneuver done in lieu of more traditional or permanent tailoring. He is no stranger to criticism, though. He was blasted for his debate moderation. This is more of a, you know, goofy story, but still, I I would love to have just serious people telling us the news instead of these circle jerk media reports where everyone's thanking everyone and nothing's getting done because they have no water. I figured we all needed a bit of a break after this. Reckless rubbing caused reckless driving. A woman tried to take the blame for her boyfriend's bad driving. December 31st. After pulling over a motorist whose vehicle almost struck the curb multiple times Thursday morning, a Florida cop walked up to the driver's side door and immediately detected the presence of alcohol. When the officer asked Ronnie White, 53, if everything was okay, the White's female passenger jumped in to offer an explanation for her companion's erratic 1:30 a.m., driving. Diane Dash, 48, apologized to the police, claiming the close curb encounters may have been her fault. She was giving him a hand, if you will. She explained that it's my birthday and I was rubbing him all over trying to get him excited. I mean, who hasn't been there? Your partner's driving and you decide to distract them with sexy time. Dash said the duo was returning from a restaurant in Stewart where they celebrated her birthday. White said, or was asked by the St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputy if, other than her rubbing you all over, is everything else okay with you? Would you like us to arrest her for molestation? He replied yes and reportedly agreed to a series of field sobriety tests. As seen above, White performed poorly, so it could have been the Jose or it could have been the rub. Reported to a deputy who felt White was impaired and unable to operate a vehicle safely. White, who declined to take a breath test, was then arrested for driving under the influence and apparently trying to, clitorference his girlfriend on her birthday. Sir, it's her birthday. Shut your eyes and think of England. I'm just kidding, you guys. I am just kidding. But it seems like maybe eventually she got her birthday present. I don't know. Maybe she called it a draw and said, if I have to bail you out, this is not my birthday. A great story from my state. Finally, for once, Indiana does something good. An Indiana man has been hailed as a hero after saving 5 people, including children, from a house fire. An Indiana man is being hailed as a hero after saving 4 young children and their 18-year-old sister from a house fire early Monday morning. Nick Bostick of Lafayette was driving on his way home when he saw flames coming from the house around 12:30 a.m. I saw fire on the balcony, so I slammed on the brake, pulled into the driveway, and ran into the house from the back. I was hollering, "Is anyone in there?" Bostick told Fox 59. Bostick rushed into the burning building and saw 4 people. He helped them get to safety right away, but then was told one of the children was missing. Bostick ran back into the home only to be confronted with growing flames and thick black smoke. The smoke just came out of nowhere. It was pitch black, and the heat was excruciating. Bostick was able to locate the child after hearing faint crying. He grabbed the child and jumped out of a second-story window to avoid flames. I grabbed her, held her snug, ran up those stairs like a running back for the Colt, and jumped out that window, Bostick said. Dramatic body cam footage from the police shows the moment Bostick emerged from the house with the 6-year-old child. Bostick did suffer from cuts, burns, and blisters on his leg and arm. He was treated at the hospital on Wednesday and released after several days of treatment. He probably got a good deal of smoke inhalation too, so that is not surprising. Waking up every morning, I have something to remind me of why I'm here, still alive, and why God keeps me here, Bostick told News 18. He used me like his instrument that night. All 5 members of the family were uninjured. Bostick, 25, says he doesn't consider himself a hero. He's just an ordinary person who did what he had to do. If it were me in there trapped or asleep and there was a fire, I would be hoping that the guy considering would, driving by would consider doing the same if they were able. Lieutenant Randy Shearer of the Lafayette Police Department said Bostic's heroic actions saved lives. His selflessness during the incident is inspiring. He has impressed many with his courage, tenacity, and steadfast calmness in the face of such perilous danger. Police say that Bostic will be honored by a local aviators or at a local aviators baseball game in August. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Bostic says he hopes to reunite with the family soon. So good things do happen. Good people are out there and helping their fellow, man. I love having good stories because most of the time I don't. And here, this douche canoe, this is really Rita repulsive behavior, Mr. Power Ranger. Power Rangers actor Hector David Jr. is sentenced to 180 days in prison after assaulting an elderly man, but won't do his full service. Yes, I have. Dingus is getting an appointment to get neutered because he is annoying every single other cat. So he is having to stay in my room because, well, the lady cats don't like him because they have already been spayed and neutered and they don't want anything to do with him. And he's like, come be friends with me. Let's get married. And they're like, touch me. It'll be the start of my snapped episode. A Power Rangers actor will serve 45 days in prison after being convicted of a horrific assault on an elderly man who is using a walker. You absolute douche canoe, you do not deserve the butt chin. Just saying. No. Hector David Riviera, who is best known for playing the Green Power Ranger, not the Poop Power Ranger, because you seem like a pretty shitty person here. In the franchise, was handed the sentence on Wednesday after he pled guilty to one charge of misdemeanor battery in the forceful attack that was caught on camera in Napa, Idaho back in 2024 in July. The 35-year-old was initially sentenced to 180 days in prison, according to TMZ, but he won't have to, serve all of that time. Yeah. I mean, what are we going to do without him? Zordon. We're not even going to be able to make, Mega Morphin Power Ranger full robot guy. Clayton County Court Judge Matthew B. Suchlate reportedly suspended 135 days of the actor's sentence, so now he'll only have to serve 45 days as long as he stays out of trouble when he's in prison and after prison. Now, Riviera was also ordered to have 2 years of supervised probation, and he has complete 100 hours of community service. Last year, appalling camera footage recorded a bystander's dashboard camera showing Riviera wearing a jersey and baggy red pants approach an elderly man who was using a walker, then shoving him to the ground and yelling at him in the parking lot of the apartment complex. Napa Police Departments claimed that the violence happened after they exchanged words about a parking issue. Because the original Green and White Ranger was Tommy and the start of my girlhood crushes. And unfortunately, that actor lost his battle with mental health, but he was both the Green and White Rangers, and I should not know all this deep lore from the Power Rangers, but it was kind of my jam. I was going to be the Pink Power Ranger. I'm going to go deal with Dingus 1 second. Okay, mister, you can go out, but you have to be nice to your friends. Have we talked about being nice? All right. You get one chance to be nice, and then that's it. Leave the girl cats alone. They neither like you nor want you.
What are you doing?
On a stream.
You came out.
I let the cat out. So after pushing the elderly victim, to the ground, he just got out or just drove off, went away. Now, police didn't know that the small The small screen star was their suspect, so they posted a video of the attack online with Riviera seen in a New England Patriots jersey. Napa police officer Eric Moore reportedly revealed that social media search quickly led them to the action performer who goes by the stage name Hector Davis Jr. It's Hector Davis Jr., the old people assaulter. Yeah, I don't know if changing your name is going to get you out of being a douche. Our community not only supports us, but they support going after people that commit crimes. Moore revealed in an interview back in July. They really stepped up and were able to help us get this identity pretty quick. Before the attack, the actor was scheduled to appear in the Magic Valley Comic Con Twin Falls, Idaho, Comic Con, but he did not attend. Police say the elderly man was not injured in the attack. The Connecticut native Riviera got his start in acting, appearing as the Lotus Land dancer in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, and joined the Power Ranger franchise 1 year later. He appeared in a series of shows by the franchise between 2011 and 2015, including Power Rangers Samurai and Power Rangers Megaforce. There have been so many iterations of Power Rangers, you guys. I didn't know they had like Dinomorphs, and I have learned so many Power Rangers things having a boy. I didn't even know it still went on. No, apparently there are like as many seasons of Degrassi as there are Power Rangers. Since Riviera's time as a superhero, he continued to act and has appeared in over a dozen productions. The actor's most recent appearance in anything is Netflix's Merry Gentlemen, starring Michael Murray and Britt Robertson. I have no idea who these people are. Yeah, Eddie, that's what I thought. I was like, what the hell did, freaking the Red Ranger do? But no, this is not the OG Rangers. These are, imposters. In what the hell is going on here? I am going to need all Lord Shippy attendants to please come up, because having been in charge of patient care, that was always the top priority. Whenever I was working with a patient, I would be, conscious that people are in pain or they need help. And, things I can do to help them might hurt them if I don't pay attention. Well, these jackass nurses let a 69-year-old nonverbal man languish in a 130-degree bath for nearly an hour. We are naming, we are shaming. A registered nurse and a certified nursing assistant from West Virginia are facing charges in the death of a 69-year-old nonverbal man after they allegedly left him in a scalding bathtub for nearly an hour. CNA Kayla Beard and RN Delilah Claiborne Hill are charged with felony neglect of an incapacitated adult by a caregiver, the West Virginia Attorney General's office said in a press release. According to the AG, the victim, Larry Hendrick, was a patient at Hopemont Hospital in Terra Alta in need of around-the-clock care. On January 4th, 2024, Beard allegedly helped Hendrick into a bath, but unreasonably failed to check the water temperature gauge. The water temperature was at 134 degrees, and they left him in the tub for 47 minutes. After the staff removed him, and Fedorowski, thank you for that. So 134 Fahrenheit is 56 degrees Celsius. That's bad enough. 134 Celsius would be more than boiling, though. Thank you for letting me know. After the staff removed him from the bath, he was suffering from second to third degree burns and blisters on both his feet and legs. Claiborne Hill learned of the injuries but didn't do anything to treat them, including giving him pain medicine. All right. Okay. I didn't want to have to go full IPS student, but let's get to this. We're putting our hair up. I'm going to go get my breeder mobile, and we're taking a field trip to West Virginia, y'all. Because you heard a patient. You didn't pay attention and you're going to let him suffer. You're not going to take care of these burns. You're not going to give him pain medication. Okay. Now, Hendricks was then taken to West Pennsylvania Hospital Nursing Burn Trauma Unit in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he died of his injuries on January 13th, 2024. When you get these significant burns and you have a nonverbal, non-really ambulatory patient, that is so dangerous. You are losing the protection you have from infection, and you are in a hospital where all the infections are. So getting large burns when you are already medically compromising is a death sentence. The investigation so far has focused on people who had hands-on care with Hendrick, but detectives are also looking at other staff that may have violated state laws. This is a very disturbing case, and there needs to be accountability for the horrific death of the victim, Mr. Larry Hendrick, who was supposed to be under the care of medical professionals, State Attorney General and Governor-elect Patrick Morrisey said. Now, Claiborne Hill and Beard are slated to face a judge on January 29th. According to his obituary, Hendrick was one of 13 children. Hendrick worked for a tree service company and at Purdue Chicken Plant before moving to Ohio, where he became disabled. He liked working on cars and building model cars, hunting, and being outdoors. Just sad. If you wouldn't leave a child, you don't leave a patient. You check the water temperature. How did that not burn your hands when you were putting them in? Did you not feel that? I used to work in basically a 99 to 100 degree pool, and you can definitely tell the heat in that, the warmth in that. So I can't imagine not noticing when you put someone in. Jerks. This is a story that I do want to look into. I need to buckle down and start researching, because this is an Indiana weird case that I think is going to blow up here with genealogical DNA and other things like that. An Indiana man had 10,000 fragments of human remains on his property. Here's how police plan to ID all of his victims. Police believe Herb Baumeister targeted gay men and buried at least 25 victims on the $1 million Indiana estate in the early 90s. So this is a big case from my state, and it looks like it might be heating up depending on, how this DNA and these new kind of cold case genealogical DNA things are going to go. We could see a lot of forward movement and closure for these families and these victims. Because unfortunately, during the early 90s, this was ignored. Not ignored in the sense that missing people weren't looked for, but no one in Indiana made a connection between many, many gay men missing from bathhouses and gay bars and things like that. So they had a lot of disparate missing persons, but they never made a connection. Herb Baumeister's macabre double life began to unravel in 1994 when his 13-year-old son found a human skull and piles of bones in the woods of Fox Hollow Farm, his $1 million estate in Westfield, Indiana. Baumeister, who owned a string of thrift stores, had an easy explanation for the chilling discovery. The bones, of course, had come from the skeleton of his late father, an anesthesiologist obtained in medical school. So he told his son that, no, your grandpa bought a cadaver for some reason, but he needed it for medical purposes, and then we just put it in the backyard. 2 years later, Baumeister, 49, was faced with many more questions when police unearthed thousands of human bones and fragments at the estate. The day after police made the grisly discovery, Baumeister vanished. 8 days later, he was found dead of self-deletion in a park in Canada. Investigators would soon learn that Baumeister was likely one of the most prolific serial killers in Indiana history. one believed to have hunted his prey in gay bars while his wife and 3 children were away at the family's lake house. In 2022, Hamilton County Coroner Jeff Jellison said in a press release that investigators believe that the 10,000 human bones and fragments that police found at the Baumeister property in the early 90s could comprise the remains of up to or more, but probably 25 victims. That same year, Jellison launched a renewed effort to identify some of the suspects of this serial killer using advanced DNA technology, including genetic genealogy. Jellison and his team are still seeking DNA samples from relatives of men who vanished in the mid-1980s and mid-1990s. The team then compares those samples to DNA profiles the scientists pieced together from mostly charred remains found at his 18-acre property. Teams have received more than 40 DNA samples submitted by people who believe that their missing male relatives may have been one of Baumeister's victims. Baumeister is suspected of killing at least 12 men in the early 90s, hiding their bodies on his property. He was also the suspect in the murders of at least 12 or 11 boys and men in what the authorities had believed were victims of the I-70 Strangler, a notorious serial killer whose identity still remains a mystery. In 2022, Jellison announced he was... So they actually had a hit come back, and we were able to put a face on one of these victims. In May 2024, the identity of one of the victims, Jeffrey Jones of Fillmore, Indiana, who was reported missing in 1993, whose remains were then recovered in 1996 from Fox Hollow Farm, according to a release from Hamilton County Coroner's Office. Jones was the 3rd victim to be identified from Jellison's renewed investigation into the more than, 10,000 pieces of bones. Now, because many of the remains were found burnt and crushed, this investigation is extremely challenging. However, team of law enforcement and forensic specialists working on the case remain committed. In October 2023, Jellison announced that the team had identified another of Baumeister's presumed victims, Alan Livingston. Livingston's sister, Sharon Doherty, told AP that she was relieved to find out what happened to her older brother. Just knowing, it's a multitude of emotions, she said. You want to know, but you don't want to know. But you need to know. Relatives of missing men who want to provide DNA for reference samples in an effort to identify remains can contact the Indiana State Police. So I encourage you to spread this story. I am a firm believer that you hear the things you need to hear. Even when you don't want to hear them, you'll have several people kind of coming to you and saying the same thing, and or you'll see what you need to see or get the piece of information, get that little bit of wisdom right when you need it. So if there were people in the Indiana area and you are missing a male relative, this might be something you need to look into. Let's get these victims home to their families. In what the snap? I did not have this on my bingo card, but now I'm going to have to watch School of Rock. School of Rock child stars get married 22 years after meeting on the Jack Black movie. I am ready for this. This has made my entire day. I love School of Rock. 2 stars from the movie School of Rock have tied the knot more than 2 decades after meeting on the beloved 2003 film. Angelo Maschili and Caitlin Hale were just 10 years old when they crossed paths at the audition for School of Rock, which follows Jack Black as a destitute, never-was rock and roller who builds a rock band from a class of elementary school kids. And she is looking hot. I'm just saying, she's looking hot. Oh, it was these 2? Now I'm going to have to go watch School of Rock. I love that movie. Hale played a precocious, pigtailed backup singer, Marta, or Blondie, as Black's character referred to her, and Maschili took the part of Frankie, the AKA the tough guy, one of the band's security detail. Maschili was left awestruck after seeing Hale's audition, he told the New York Times. The young actress wowed producers with a show-stopping rendition of Everything's Coming Up Roses from Gypsy, switching up the lyrics to be about the movie's director, five-time Oscar nominee Richard Linklater. I was like, wow, that girl is really, really something else, Mescali said. When spontaneously asked to sing a song at the audition in New York City, nervous Mescali sang the only two he knew by heart, Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. After booking the gig, the pair met once again a year later when filming began in New York. According to Hale, all of the young actors playing the Pee Wee Rock and Rollers became fast friends and bonded during the actual school time on set and trips to Benihana. Their moms grew close too. Black reportedly joined the kids for lunch and played games between takes. Hale and Mescali said that neither had a crush on the other while filming. After production wrapped and the movie was released, the cohorts of kids remained in touch through a long-running group chat. Mescali and Hale ended up leaving acting behind. Now a lawyer, Mescali works as a music product counsel for TikTok, and Hale is an OBGYN stenographer. The pair reconnected in 2018 when they were both pursuing degrees at universities in Florida. They grabbed lunch for old time's sakes and sent a selfie to their moms, who had been, close during filming. This is such a cute story. I love it. Also, I love those shoes. Not gonna lie, wish I could still wear high heels and boots, because oh my god, the sparkles. We thought that it was kind of it, Mescali recalled, but we just kept grabbing dinners and going out on the weekends. We were like, something's brewing here. Even though it wasn't romantic, the familiarity we had and our families had when we were younger really cut through some of those early relationship hurdles, he added. Hale knew that Mescali was the end game shortly after reconnecting. I knew very early, Hale remembered. I actually said to one of my close friends, I remember being in an Uber on the way down to Miami one weekend when we were going out, and I was like, I think I'm going to marry this guy. That same year, Mescali gave Hale permission to crash at his Miami home while he's out of town for the week to save her from commuting from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, where she was at the part of her residency program. Mescali returned to find that Hale had fully moved in. Okay, ladies, that can either go really well or, well, in a restraining order. So choose wisely. If you think the guy's going to love that you just moved in when he didn't know, then go for it, but also be prepared for a restraining order. In 2019, the pair relocated to Brooklyn. Mescali popped the question in June 2023 in front of the Temple d'Honneur at the Metropolitan Art Museum. After Hale said yes, the couple celebrated with dinner at Nino's, an Italian restaurant on the Upper East End, and champagne at the Carlyle. The wedding took place January 4th at the Parc Chateau Estate and Gardens in East Brunswick, New Jersey, the Versailles-like venue. The estate was a perfect spot for the couple who said they wanted to go all out. As for music, Hale and Mescali entered their reception to Through the Wire by Kanye West before dancing their first dance to Shaka Khan's Through the Fire. They had specific marching orders for the DJ. Play songs that felt like if Studio 54 had never closed. In a pointed callback to the School of Rock, the couple danced to Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. They were joined by 9 of their castmates who were on hand to celebrate their, friends' union. Jack Black could not attend because he was working on a movie, but Hale said that the star was so nice and generous with his words and definitely commemorated it privately. The former child star also had a sweet reunion on the dance floor with another School of Rock backup singer, which he described as almost a time capsule moment. We were just dancing together to some of the old school disco songs, and then there was some sort of ad lib in the song, and we all just hit it, she shared. We looked at each other and were like, that just happened. We still got it. Wedding guests were treated to a 3-tiered wedding cake, cannoli on the dance floor, and a food truck that was handing out McDonald's. I need to get invited to some of these fun weddings, like a cake and McDonald's. And I'm an indoor cat, and normally I don't leave my house. It is weird that I do want to go out of my house. So, on the legal front, looks like The View is having some issues. The View star Sonny Hostin's surgeon husband accused of insurance fraud in a sweeping federal lawsuit. Now, I will tell you guys that this looks like it's going to be a RICO case, so this is going to be huge. Now, being that it is in New York, we are not going to get any footage from courtrooms, but it will be interesting to see how this case plays out, especially with, Sonny Hostin's husband being indicted or implicated. The husband of The View host, Sonny Hostin, has been accused of insurance fraud in a sweeping federal lawsuit filed last month. Orthopedic surgeon Dr. Manuel Manny Hostin and his practice, Hostin Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, were named among one of the more than 180 defendants in a major RICO case filed in New York on December 17th. According to the Daily Mail, Hostin and other defendants were allegedly receiving kickbacks to perform surgeries and fraudulently billing the insurance company that provides to Uber, Lyft, and other taxi companies. Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical or other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries, the lawsuit claims, per the Daily Mail, adding that the American Transit Insurance Company, which filed the lawsuit, was billed in exchange for kickbacks or other compensation, which were described as dividends or cash distributions. Good morning, Captain Kern and Kay, Fundian, and Jen. Welcome, Shizzy Raiders. We are here. So, yeah, it's looking not so great. In a press release announcing the $450 million lawsuit, American Transit said, the federal court complaint filed in the Eastern District of New York alleges that the defendants sought to take advantage of New York's no-fault auto insurance laws, which require insurance companies to reimburse their policyholders for the cost of necessary and documented medical care up to $50,000 for personal or private passenger vehicles, $200,000 for taxis, and for hire vehicles in New York City, for injuries arising out of accident regardless of fault. These substantial possible no-fault recoveries can incentivize providers with ill intent to overdiagnose, overtreat, and overbill to recover most of the money for themselves. Now, according to the Daily Mail, the lawsuit alleges that Hostin was given an investment interest of the Empire State Ambulatory Surgery Center while receiving a steady stream of patient referrals in return. Two of Hostin's patients cited in the lawsuit were allegedly treated in January 2023 following involvement in low-impact collision that were said to only have minor damage, no more than soft tissue injuries, but both received arthroscopic surgery. Now, Hostin's attorney told the Daily Mail that his client denies all the allegations, calling the filing a blanket scattershot meritless lawsuit by a nearly bankrupt insurance carrier. It's meant to intimidate and harass doctors from collecting for care given to American Transit insured and their passengers. Attorney Daniel Thwaites told the Daily Mail. The real story here is about a healthcare insurance carrier abusing the legal system to limit and restrict healthcare benefits to its insured and their passengers and write off its proper obligations. Sonny Hostin spoke about her husband's work on The View as recently as last month while discussing the healthcare industry. In the aftermath of the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, quote, now this is from Sonny Hostin, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors want to do good, like my husband, Hostin told her colleagues. He operates on someone even though they don't have insurance, then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's trained his whole life to do. Okay, so if they don't have insurance, how is he suing an insurance company? Sonny, I know you used to be a lawyer, but that is a plot hole that doesn't make sense. Think about it. Second of all, if it's medically necessary, then it's approved. What I'm looking at, based on the one case that they cited here, was a very minor accident, and yet they got arthroscopic surgery. So make it make sense. If he's charting this correctly, if these are medically needed procedures, then he shouldn't have a problem. ABC News did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. Hostin and her husband have been married since 1998 and do have 2 children. Now, this does seem like it's shady. It is a RICO case. They generally don't bring those unless you're out of Georgia if they don't have information. But this sounds like this was part of an investigation that's been going on for years or for a while. So my computer died earlier today. So I'm having to go back and refresh all these stories. Lord Chippy attendants, we are either going to need to send this one to Snake Island or Lord Chippy. And since I've already used Lord Chippy, let's go to Snake Island. This chick, absolutely one-way ticket to Snake Island, nude as the day she was born. A teacher's aide is accused of raping a teenage student with a mental capacity of a 9-year-old boy. Again, we're going to have to go old school, inner city, classroom. I'm about to take my earrings off. Someone's about to get Gen Pop justice. After the boy's mom catches her at their home on a snow day. Y'all, this woman would have been snatched bald-headed. All that hair you see right in that there picture, that'd be on the floor in my house. You do not mess with children, and children who have the mental capacity of a young, innocent baby, a little baby 9-year-old. No. I say this rarely. Well, I say this often. Never mind, I'm not going to lie to you guys. But she may screw herself with a cactus sideways. A teacher's aide in Ohio is behind bars for allegedly raping a teen student with the mental capacity of a 9-year-old, with his own mom catching the 45-year-old woman at her house with her son after classes were canceled for a snow day, cops said. Christian Goebel, a paraprofessional for Woodmore Local School District, is charged with felony rape after being caught with a 15-year-old victim on Monday at his home in Sandusky. Sandusky? Seriously? He's in Sandusky County all right. Okay. The boy's mother told local ABC affiliate WTVG that he has the intellectual capacity of about a 9-year-old and was home that day due to their school district being closed for inclement weather. Our family is absolutely devastated over all of this, the mother said. While they're keeping most details private, the underage victim's mother did confirm to WTVG that she called the cops on Kabul after finding her at the home with her son. The investigation is still ongoing and there may be additional charges, Sandusky County Sheriff Chris Hilton told local outlets. Now, Kabul appeared in court on Wednesday and was granted a $100,000 bond. Her case will be presented to a grand jury. While the district cannot comment on ongoing investigation or personally identifiable information of students, the district's primary concern is always the safety and well-being of its students. Woodmore Superintendent Dr. Schaefer told WTVGN. A local law firm representing the victim's family on Wednesday said that the teen and his mother have been through an unimaginable 48 hours. Because this poor little boy, this poor young man, to me, than someone who would take the innocence. And guys, I really want to look into this, English grooming gang. I can't say the real thing, but I want to do it in a way that's respectful. People that prey on children need to be named, shamed, and dropped into the center of the sun. So this is why I picked these, stories. They're not easy to go through. I hate them. My mom's heart cries for vengeance. Well, he has the mental capacity of a 9-year-old. He is 15. But you seek to destroy innocence. I have a problem with that. I have a real problem with that. Well, you guys, I will be watching Natalia Grace probably this evening, the first documentary, and then I will be, uh, doing a review of those to try to add more content. You guys seem to enjoy the, Jean-Benet Ramsey kind of deep dive into those documentaries, so I'm going to do more of those. But it looks like Natalia Grace is in the news again, and she has a new, special, and I'm going to watch it, but I have not been down this rabbit hole. So I'm about to dive into the Natalia Grace rabbit hole. Ukrainian orphan Natalia Grace reveals that she has a new family in upstate New York. Natalia Grace, a Ukrainian orphan accused of trying to unalive her adopted parents a decade ago, has revealed that she's living with a new family. In a documentary titled The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, The Final Chapter, Grace is opening up about her efforts to flee from her adopted family that she accuses of abusing her. Now, Grace, who was adopted 15 years ago by Michael and Christine Burnett, who claims that she was a homicidal adult in her 20s posing as a 6-year-old girl, because this could only get weirder. Why did I not fall down this rabbit hole? I mean, this has all the makings of a dumpster fire train wreck. How did I not get sucked into this? This is going to be amazing. What in the world is going on here? Now, the Barnetts accuse Grace of emotionally and physically abusing them, as well as looming over the couple while they were sleeping with a knife in her hand, a claim that she has denied. And even though Grace proved that she wasn't lying about her age, the Barnetts went ahead and changed her legal birth date to 1989. After Grace was abandoned by the couple, she was later adopted by Cynthia and Antoine Mans. However, she claimed that she suffered from a torment of abuse at their hands in December 2023. If she's 26, why is she getting adopted? Am I confused here? Are these like the people that have like the living doll baby? What is going on here? That's it. We are getting into this rabbit hole because I am all the confused. Now, the alleged abuse prompted her to flee their home in the middle of the night with help from her boyfriend, Neil. From there, Grace settled in with Nicole DePaul, 49, and her husband, Vince, 51, in upstate New York. The DePauls, who also have dwarfism, previously tried to adopt Grace back in 2009, but were turned down. At first, it was bumpy because the Mans were still involved. Nicole told People they were calling Natalia constantly, trying to wheel her back in. It was just this constant thing where we were walking a fine line of not doing too much. She just came from this house and basically was ruled by a dictator, so I didn't want to tell her what to do. Again, she is a 20-damn-year-old woman. Why is she not living on her own? I mean, am I confused here? I have missed the plot on this one. She's also never done one violent thing, Nicole went on. Our dogs love her and they sleep with her. I'm an animal lover. If I didn't trust her, I wouldn't leave my babies with her, so they're also a judge of character as well. We're guiding Natalia, not trying to control her, Vince told the outlet. She's super sweet. She wouldn't hurt a fly. She probably does do weird things. Did she do weird things in the past? Maybe, yeah, Nicole chimed in. But when you take a child, you take that child as your own. You don't just get rid of them when they don't fit into your puzzle. Grace adds that she always loved the DePauls. However, the pair claimed they were never allowed to be in contact with her. After settling down with the couple, Grace said that she kickstarted therapy to help her overcome past trauma. What's more, she's studying for her GED to become a teacher one day. Learning everything that I have about how to live with my dwarfism has been a great experience, she said. I love it. I mean, of course, I still miss my siblings and everything, but I love it. I feel free. Y'all, we're going to have to get into this because I don't understand why a grown damn woman needs an adoption. All right, we're getting into Natalia Grace. I'm gonna need some waiters and, well, some Wellingtons because I am feeling that this is going to be a whole hell of a lot of bull poop. In things my son would do for 5,000, Alex, and probably real life footage of my next ER visit. Yes, he is stopping electric fans with his tongue because, boys, y'all, what the hell is this? This is how we get final form Jesus back on, the earth. So this man is a winner. An Indian stuntman earned a Guinness World Record by stopping 57 electric fans in 1 minute using his tongue. Kinthari Kumar Pakinra, aka Drill Man, took on the challenge on the set of Italian TV series Lo Show del Record in Milan. Pinkera used his tongue to stop 57 fans in the allotted time, enough to earn the title. You guys, this is why aliens won't visit. You guys, this is why aliens won't give us advanced technology. They get to see this shit that we send out, on these things. And they're like, yeah, that civilization isn't ready for quantum, engines and force shield multipliers because we're stopping fans with our freaking tongues. The Daredevil's other Guinness World Record titles include most nails inserted into a nose with a hammer in 1 minute, which was 22. God, please don't let my son find out that there are Guinness World Records where you do dumbass things and shove things up your nose, because that would be his ultimate career. The heaviest vehicle pulled by a swallowed sword, 4,285 pounds. His mom is so proud. She knew they would support combustion. A woman who used Takis tortilla chips to commit arson learns her fate. My boys love Takis. I'm not a fan. I like to be able to feel my mouth after I eat spicy food. I'm not a big spicy food person, but my boys love the blue Takis, and they look like they might have been cannibalizing Smurfs after they ate them. I just imagine, this is where my brain goes. I just imagine a little Smurf and they're eating it like corn on the cob because I'm a weirdo. A Missouri woman who pled guilty to committing arson with a bag of Takis tortilla chips will spend the next 12 years in prison. Patricia Faye Williams, 43, originally pled not guilty when she was charged with first-degree arson after starting a fire at Greene County residence in 2023. According to court documents, she changed her plea deal during an appearance on Tuesday. She had been set to go on trial Monday, January 13th. According to a probable cause statement written by Springfield Fire Marshal Travis Morrissey, a woman called 911 on the afternoon of August 11th, 2023, to report that another woman, later identified as Williams, had set fire to a home in Greene County. A police officer who had been investigating the smoke nearby arrived at the scene, where 3 people, including one in a wheelchair, were waiting outside. One person there, identified as victim 3 in the statement, was named Williams as the one who set the fire. Williams was detained by police and observed to have soot on her face and was complaining of smoke inhalation. She was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment, and in the meantime, it was discovered that there were several warrants out for her arrest. She was promptly arrested. When Morrissey arrived on the scene, he spoke to 3 people who were waiting outside, one of whom, victim 1, was a resident of the flame-engulfed house. Victims 2 and 3 were visitors. Both of them told Morrissey that they saw Williams pour gasoline from a soda bottle onto clothes and the floor in the laundry room. They also saw her ignite Takis chips on fire and toss the flaming chip bag onto the gasoline. Now, Morrissey said that he conducted a brief field test to see if the Takis chips would support a flame, and he said they did. No one at the scene was hurt. Everyone inside the house was able to get out unharmed. Upon smelling an ignitable fluid in the laundry room, Morrissey concluded that the fire was set intentionally with the fluid used as an accelerant. While at the emergency room in the hospital, William was read her rights and questioned by Morrissey. According to his statement, she admitted to buying $2 worth of gasoline. She was also caught on surveillance camera at the gasoline station making her purchase. Williams said she used the Takis chips to set the fire because, quote, she knew they would support combustion because of their grease content. So there you go. If you are ever in a MacGyver situation and you need to start a fire, use a Taki. This is for everyone. Y'all knew I saw this headline and could not be stopped. For our final story of the day, world's biggest schmeckle sizes by country revealed. Where is America? Where is your place of origin? How do you stack up? How do you line up on the schmeckle line, I guess? You guys know I couldn't leave this out. Ever wonder which country has the biggest peens? I can only imagine that Sal does a couple times, but it's never really crossed my mind. Normally at 3 a.m., I'm having an existential crisis of how I've screwed up in life, not worrying about peens, but I will add it to the rotation. Well, you're in luck. Scientists have tallied tallywhacker sizes from around the globe to determine which nation's people are the most well-endowed. Hint, it's not the citizens of the United States. Rather, it's the good people of Sudan who are the most jumbo down under, tipping the tape at an average of 7.07 inches when standing at attention. Nearly 2 inches longer than the global average of between 5 to 5.5 inches. So there you go. Go to the Sudan, ladies. Rankings which were published by a dataset compendium, Data Panda. Okay, so walk me through this. A bunch of scientists are sitting around, and I imagine it's like Big Bang Theory, and they're like, hey, you want to study something? We got like $1 bajillion from the government. And one person, probably the me person there, is like, hey, you know what we should study? They're never going to give us money for this. We should see who's really packing down under. And they were just shocked that it went through. They were like, holy crap, they're giving us money. We actually have to make a report. Also, do you supply your own ruler? Like, does the doctor have a tape measure, like when you're pregnant and he feels the top of your uterus? How are we measuring these things? So these data sets were based on a 2014 report in the journal BJU International Sexual Medicine. Researchers reviewed existing studies from around the world that measured schmeckle size by health professionals in a sample of 50 people or more. One caveat was that many of the measures were self-reported. 10 feet, 19 inches, 3 inches girth. Ladies, I walk kind of funny because I'm packing. The second place in the phallic contest was the Democratic Republic of Congo, where men boasted about 7 inches. So here, let's see if we can embiggen this, which seems apropos. Well, we don't even make the top 6, America. We're bad. Meanwhile, in Ecuador, 6.93 inches. The Republic of Congo, which is not the Democratic Republic of Congo, about 6.8. Ghana, where the mayor of Los Angeles was, about 6.8. So there you go. Unfortunately, the United States, where everything is supersized, was a bit lacking and placed a dismal 68th with its average of 5.57. Well, I guess we're going to have to start adding male vitality into the water. Let's see here. Uh, Fortunately, the Americans did not come dead last in the phallic Olympiad. That honor went to Thailand, where schmeckles measure about 3.72 inches. Look, we are progress makes perfect. I'm sure we can. Of course, girth was equally as variable as length. European countries dominated the Battle of the Bulge. So, you might not be as long, but you're really. Oh my God, could you imagine the Hallmark card? The Hallmark card. Like, sweetie, you're not lengthy, but you got it with the girth. France topped the list with the average girth circumference of 5 inches around. I have really small hands. Look, we're just not even gonna just don't go to France. I am not sure that we are ready for the French. So there you go. If you're looking for, length, the Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Ecuador, the Republic of Congo, which is not the Democratic Republic, and Nigeria. If you're looking for girthiness, go to Europe, because apparently what we lack in length we make up for in girth. I don't know why this is so hilarious to me. Probably because I'm about 12 and a half. But this is hilarious because these are measurements that are all self-reported, which means the world will never know. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I will probably be back with either continuing coverage on the fires or maybe looking at some of the things that are going on in the UK. That might be tomorrow. But I do have a story time for you guys before I go. Mr. Mo is off today because, as a federal worker, he's off for President Carter. Now, my boys, the ones, the youngest, most feral, and the second youngest, most feral, were having a conversation about why Mr. Mo was at home. And I had to tell them, well, it's because, President Jimmy Carter died and it's a federal holiday. And they said, so I was trying to explain that he's laying in wait at the Capitol. Now, I should have expected this, and I should not have been drinking because my son attempted to unalive me this morning. But I was just innocently taking a drink after I said that he was, laying in wait. And my youngest, most feral son waited for this perfect moment when I'm drinking. And he's like, he's a dead guy in the Capitol? And I was like, well, yeah, but I was like, it's an honor and respect. So I'm taking another drink. And both of my boys are just astounded that we would keep a dead person in the Capitol. My apologies, Mr. Carter, for what comes next. Now, my youngest, most feral son starts doing the little potty dance. He is excited. He knows what is going on. He has figured out why we have a dead person in the National Rotunda. And he's like, I saw a movie on this once. And I should have realized that that was a warning that I should not drink any more of my drink. But because I was still waking up, I decided to drink one of my drink. I was taking a big old sip. And what I heard was, yes, I saw a movie about this. If he's a zombie, Abraham Lincoln will kill him. Yes, he was talking about Abraham Lincoln, zombie or vampire killer. Now, how he got to watch that movie is a whole separate conversation I'll be having with Mr. Mo. But I am having to explain that that is a movie and that President Carter will not be turning into a zombie, and Abraham Lincoln will not be decapitating him with an axe. So I do apologize, President Carter. But I have reassured my children that you are not a zombie and that Abraham Lincoln is fighting other vampires. Look, you guys, I try to teach my children things. Where they come up with ideas is all on their own, and why I'm not day drinking, I don't know. Justin Smith, at this point, if Abraham Lincoln did come back and claim that he was a vampire hunter, I kind of expect it now. So I did try to explain that President Carter, was a goodish president and that he tried his best and that people want to pay their respects. That is why the body is there, not to test if he's a zombie and, have a death match between zombie hunter Lincoln and zombie Carter. That is all. That is, you guys, I nearly died. I was like, when you're choking and you're trying to breathe, and I'm over here trying to make sure that my son does not go in to, tell his teacher that President Carter is going to be a zombie, because I already have enough parent-teacher conversations with this woman. I see that number pop up and I'm like, oh Lord, what did he do today? Take a deep breath. And I answer the phone and they're like, Miss So-and-so, hi, it's your son's teacher. And I didn't mean to, am I interrupting anything? And I'm like, well, my sanity and sense of well-being, but go ahead. And then she will go into whatever my son is doing. Here lately, it's been growling like a dog. So I did tell her she's free to use a super soaker of holy water on him, but I don't know how well that went over. I'm sure I'm going to get a call. But I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to set up for either the fire stream or watching some of what is going on in the UK. I will be perfectly honest. I am an American. I don't know the intricacies and all of the background of what went on with these grooming gangs. But what I do know is that there is an entire series of generations of children victims that have not been listened to. And I'm a gobby American. You don't need to listen to me if you're in the UK, but these victims need their stories told. And if I can do a little bit to help with my small channel, then that's what I would like to do. Or the fires, because they need their stories told too. But I will see you guys in just a little bit. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. But carry a can of bitch fire, because kindness does not equal doormat. See you guys in just a little bit. Bye.